Hello and welcome to Realtor Rentals. I'm Susie Rogers here with my husband David Williams. We're the owners of Northside Video here in McMinnville, Tennessee. So good to see everybody back today. I tell you, we've just been having a great time. I've been having to think about pulling out my Christmas decorations though. I got lazy this year and didn't do anything for Halloween, so going to have to go all out on Christmas this year to make up for it. But I still got a few weeks to think about what I want to do. How about you, Dave?
The movie industry right now is sort of in that struggle of we don't really want to put nothing big out right this minute, and we're still doing some catching up from the late summer, early fall type things of 2023. And this one here, this show we got has got some of the bigger stuff that ended summer.
Yeah, it does have it today.
You know, and they're talking about a lot of big movies for next year. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are going to be sequels that are supposed to be ready to go. And I don't know how everything's going to balance out here as we get the end of the year and the start of next year.
Well, you know, with this Writers Guild strike and Actors strike, which I don't know for sure if it's settled or not, we're going to see a lull at some point in time of movies coming to theater.
Right, but you know, right now, thankfully, they're coming right on to video and Blu-ray and Ben Lomond here on demand, and we'll just have to keep playing with it and see how people can quench that thirst for new movies.
That's right.
Go back and look at your Jeremiah Johnson, your Clint Eastwood stuff. Maybe if you want comedy, the old Eddie Murphy or Back to the Future. Take a look at the past, because a lot of them movies, we just don't have the comedy and the things that coming out today that we had then.
No, we don't have the comedies of the 80s, that's for sure. And, you know, Clint's getting up there in age, and I think when he passes, we'll have to close the video that day of his burial in honor of Clint Eastwood, or do a party or something for him.
Right.
Have Clint Eastwood movies playing.
Yep, because the man with no name.
We really like Clint Eastwood.
Yes, we do. But I guess we need to go ahead and start this show, don't
we? We do, and it's going to start similar to our show from last week, because it is horror season. So let's take a look at our first movie, which is, guess what? A horror movie. So let's take a look at the trailer for Talk to Me.
Have you seen the group chat? They're doing it again tonight. No. Please. It's my mom's Remembrance Day. I just want to forget about it.
Who's up?
I'll do it.
Cannot go for more than 90 seconds. Am I clear?
What happens after 90 seconds?
Don't want to stay. Light the candle to open the door. Blow it out to close it. Put your hand on it. Now say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
What did the hand feel like?
It felt amazing. I could see and feel everything on the other side. So my mom, she was trying to reach out. Mom, I'm here. Still been saying stuff.
You mean saying stuff?
What if we opened the door but we didn't shut it? Oh my God, they followed us. I like it. They're not gonna stop. They're never gonna stop.
That was the trailer for Talk to Me, rated R from Lionsgate. This stars Miranda Otto and Sophia Wilde. And they used something in this movie. Now, I've never seen every horror movie ever made, and I'm going to tell you that up front. But I've never seen them use this prop in a horror movie. Had you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I thought it was a good twist.
Yes. You know, this whole movie had a good twist to it.
It did, but it goes back to all the horror movies. They do what they tell them not to do in the very beginning. Somebody's always got to.
Yeah, no matter what it is, you know, because it's like this one here. Don't do this, don't do that. Well, what? The very first thing here, we go right on into doing this. But, you know, this one here had a lot of an intrigue to it. You know, it was sort of that what's real and what's not real in a lot of aspects here as you're watching this movie, you know. Am I watching something from what they're thinking, or am I watching something from really what's going on?
Right. Is it the spirit that we're seeing, or is it the actual person? You know, and that was a good aspect. And this whole mummified arm thing, that was, you know, of course they saw that in the preview, but I thought that's pretty cool.
That was definitely an unusual look, and I think that's where we're starting to see some of our young horror writers and stuff are trying to think outside the, you know, this and this and this has been done. How can I do something just a little different? The arm, the filming it this way was a lot different. You know, well, it wasn't really different, but they took a different spin on.
Well, you could almost equate the arm with the Ouija board in the Ouija board movies. But,
so, and the young ladies did a good job acting.
Oh, yeah,
in it.
they did.
You know, this was one of them that it goes into a lot like some of the other horror movies. We tell them too much, they can't.
Oh, they will ruin the scares.
That's right. And, you know, I know Kevin, he said that he liked it a lot, that comes in and tries to get any new movie on Tuesday. You know, we don't have near as many of you out there that wants to see them on Tuesday like we used to.
Maybe they need to move National Street Date to coincide with music on Friday again. You know, we had them on Fridays at one time.
A long time ago we did, and then they said, well, if you got a bad coffee, you couldn't get it replaced by the weekend, so then they moved it to Tuesday. And now, I know the music is all on Fridays. Now I think sometimes even some DVD stuff's getting dropped on Friday.
I think so too.
You know, but, you know, this one here, if you like a horror movie, you like the suspense, you like the spirit type thing, take a good look at Talk to Me.
Sort of a possession movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Talk to Me. Our next one, we're going to move around to a comedy, and it's a sequel. Let's look at the trailer for My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3.
A lot has happened since my big fat Greek wedding.
Like I never left.
My father passed away, and his last wish was for us to visit his childhood village and reconnect with our roots. So, we're having a reunion. We're going to Greece.
Oh, yeah?
2, 3, 4.
And by we, I mean the whole family.
Who wants souvlaki?
Paging souvlaki. Anybody by the name of souvlaki on this flight?
Aristotle, what?
I didn't know you were gonna be here.
What are you doing here? They had an amazing date. She ghosted him.
You are the Portocalos family. We are related through your papa's papa, who was married to my great Yaya's sister-in-law.
I want Bula. I will be your favorite.
I promised my dad I would find his best friends.
I know them. Do they still live here?
No.
How do we find them?
They will come for the reunion.
Did they tell you they're coming?
No. There's no other bedrooms.
Family sleepover.
This is one reunion we'll never forget. Do you know these men?
No. I am surprised, but I am not surprised because I'm never surprised. You lost me.
Everybody say!
We dreamt about Aristotle last night.
How did you know? Greek voodoo. Bam!
I remember your story.
I really need to find my dad's friends.
Angela and I are on it. Okay, bye.
Family ties, and all of our strangeness, but there's no
Let's do it!
I'm calling it. You got us back to Greece. You're the head of the family now.
I can't really day drink like this.
Don't worry, a lady is never drunk.
Pick the one we have for dinner.
Oh, thank you. I'm a vegetarian.
No.
We got these families.
That was a trailer for My Big Fat Greek Wedding #3, rated PG-13 from Universal. This stars Nia Vardarlos and John Corbett, along with everybody else you've seen in 1, 2 before, except for one character, and he passed away at the age of 93 last year.
Right, but yet they handled his passing very well in the film. That's one of the things you got to, whenever you've got movies like The Big Fat Greek Wedding that's a family, the whole movie's about family.
Right.
As you start doing these sequels, because, there's been several years from the very first one to now.
What? 30? No, it was 1998 for the first
Yeah,
one?
so, this is a long time. And, the very first one, as far as gross profit, was
Is one of the
unbelievable.
highest profit grossing movie, because what did it say? $5 million to make, and it brought in,
365.
yeah, that's
know,
a lot of cha-ching for Universal.
That's right. And I almost want to say the first one may have been on HBO's label,
No, was it?
I think.
Now, see, Dave remembers all this label stuff, and I'll say, I can't find the movie, and he say, oh, that was on Savoy Pictures, and they're out of business, and The Last of the Dogmen was on that, and that's the reason we can't get it. It's amazing the things he knows.
A whole lot of nothing, probably.
Well, I don't know.
But this one here, this Greek wedding takes place in Greece.
Greece. Right.
So, where before, and that's something that here in the South that we don't see near as much like in the North, where in the big cities you have sections of the city that are pretty well dominantly Greek or Polish or Italian and the families lived, and they still try to celebrate their tradition, but they still try to be America too. Where, the character that passed, his dream was to go back to Greece and reunite and get these 3 friends together and stuff. And how the families have evolved, because there's always more characters added to all of these movies.
Right.
And this one here on how some of the immigrants into Greece are sort of having harder times to fit in to get there, and how the people that have lived in America from Greece sort of looks at it a little different than and they may not fit in exactly with the people that live in Greece now.
That's right.
So, but needless to say, as far as a family movie that's got a little bit of arguing, a little bit of happiness, a lot of laughs, this was a great movie.
They all have been great movies, all 3 of them, for the family, just as you said. And I think in the good situation, family problems like they see are resolved simply, and it's not a big complicated deal like, when we was reading the one review about it where they said they seem to skim over things too quickly. But in real life, if you're a good family, which these people are, you solve your differences in an easy, quick manner, and you go on.
And like for a lot of families from Europe, good meals and wine can solve about anything.
That's right. Oh no, I'm not from Europe, and I guess somewhere in the day I was, but I'm American now. I was born here.
That's right.
That's right.
Generations.
That's right.
But
that was My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. And we're going to go to another that's going to move a little faster. Now, this is a true story. Let's take a look at the trailer for Gran Turismo.
If you miss a line in the game, you reset. You miss it on the track, you could die.
Who do you think the best driver is?
Probably Rory.
I would dust him in a lap.
Jan, All you do is play video games with some crazy dreams of racing cars.
Dad, you're the one that told us to always do something we love.
You know what racing cars cost? Look around. It's not our world, son.
What is this?
It's a contest. The best Gran Turismo players in the world get a chance to compete in professional racing.
Dude, this is real.
This is real.
I'm sorry. You really think you're gonna take a kid who plays video games in their bedroom, you're gonna strap him to a 200-mile-an-hour rocket? It'll tear him to pieces.
You can hate me now,
It's not gonna work. The guys who race are elite athletes.
but I won't stop now.
Your kids are scrawny little gamer kids.
Well, that's where you come in.
Come on, let's go!
Cause I can't stop now.
Must be a new experience for you, moving your legs. You puked on my lawn.
There's no turning back now.
When you're in a race, the cockpit is going to be 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The G-forces will be twice what an astronaut experiences upon liftoff. I can't see anything! Hey, you get extra points for that in the game? Jesus Christ.
I had to hustle hard, never give up.
This whole thing is insane, but out of the couch surfing nerds that you sent me, he is the best one. You made it.
Yes!
Welcome to Team This End.
You can hate me now.
What's next?
It's Major Leagues. The other drivers are going to hate you.
Come on.
Whoopsie.
Dude, what is your problem?
It's part of the game. It's called racing.
But I won't stop now.
If you miss a line in the game, you reset. You miss it on the track, you could die.
You can hate me now. But I won't stop now.
I know this track.
Because I can't stop now.
I've raced it 1,000 times. That's what I'm talking about.
You can hate me now. But I won't stop now.
That was a trailer for Gran Turismo, rated PG from Sony. This stars David Harbour and Orlando Bloom. And when I first started hearing about this, my mind went to the game. I thought, oh geez, here's another game movie they've made off a video game. Little did I realize until I watched this that this is actually a true story.
Yes, and that, you know, how hard these young people work to achieve this.
Right.
You know,
Risk their life for it.
right, and you know, just because they were the top in the game world, doing it for reality makes it a lot harder.
Well, and you know, I never really stopped to think about drivers of a race car being an athlete until I saw this movie when they talked about going G-force speeds of an astronaut and these poor kids throwing up because they're not conditioned for that type of speed in these races and the physical hardship it puts on drivers.
Well, and how quick their brains have got to think.
Right.
You know, not only the physical part, but the mental part of this, you know, and especially whenever you get into some of these races that are, you know, 200 miles or whatever like that, that you're just like, I've got to be this on top of it for this length of time, and if I mess up anywhere, it can be my life or other people's. And, you know, the Orlando Bloom character in it, on how he helped train them and work with them and put this team together was really neat. And, you know, we had a lot of good people ask for this.
We did. Had a lot of calls for Gran Turismo.
And I realized Mr. Bassham did keep it at the theater out here for a few weeks.
I think about 6.
You know, and of course we didn't get to get out there and see it then, but, you know, this really surprised me, and they did real good to keep it at a PG-13 where most of the audiences that are gamers can watch it no matter what age.
Right.
And, you know, of course, I know we got a lot of adult gamers, but, you know, this movie right here, you know, also showed the guy that was the underdog in real life, he might be able to be the one to excel in something like this. And the one little boy's daddy was not being real encouraging on some of this.
No, but he's been a professional football player.
So, But I thought that they did a great job with Gran Turismo.
I did too. And it was good to see Orlando Bloom in a lead role again. He's sort of been off the market in the United States for a few years.
Yeah, and I think there's been a lot of different things that's maybe he's doing in his own life.
I think he's in a high-profile relationship with somebody, and I don't know, maybe, I know he's been doing some European stuff because he's originally from England, I think.
So.
And David Harbour.
Yeah.
A big jump from Violent Night, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right on that.
But we enjoyed Gran Turismo, if you can't tell. Now, I'm going to tell you, this last movie we're going to do is part of one of my all-time favorite chains of movies, I guess. Or there's a name for it, and I'm having a senior moment, and it's not coming. But let's look at the trailer for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Our lives are the sum of our choices. And we cannot escape the past. Ethan, this mission of yours is gonna cost you dearly.
The world is changing. Truth is vanishing. War is coming.
It's been a long time, friend. You've no idea the power I represent. It knows your story and how it ends.
Listen to me. The world's coming after you.
His fate is written. Shall we write yours too?
If anything happens to them, there's no place that I won't go to kill you. That is written.
Ethan, what's your objective? What's your ultimate objective?
Your life will always matter more to me than my own.
None of our lives can matter more than this mission.
I don't accept that.
That was the trailer for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, and this stars Tom Cruise and Sean Bean and everybody else that you've seen in the last 2 or 3 Mission Impossibles. And Dave says it's a franchise, so there we go. But at some point in time, I'm going to take the time off from work, and I'm going to start with number 1 and rewatch them all the way through, because these movies have grown. And of course, Tom Cruise has aged, but they have grown. The storylines have got more involved and just better, and everyone just seems to be more on the edge of your seat than the last one.
Well, you know, when we go way on back into even the television shows of Mission Impossible.
Oh, I watched them as a kid.
You know, but they were really cutting edge type TV. And, you know, this franchise, as Mission Impossible 1 come out, it was more story driven, and these have grown in action and stunts. And, you know, that's one thing, you know, Tom Cruise tries to do a lot of his own stunts. Now, sometimes the directors really don't want him to do that, and sometimes the people that's putting up the money don't want him to do that, because we can't have our main star get hurt.
Well, he broke his foot. Was it on this one?
Yeah, it was on this one.
And he said he knew he had to make the impact on the building, but he said, I knew as soon as I hit that building, my foot was broke. But the director then come in and said, but Tom's a trooper. Said he went on and went through that scene because he knew it was a one-take scene. And he went on and
made it work.
Made it work.
And, you know, so that almost makes you feel like you took some lessons from Jackie Chan.
Oh, wouldn't that be great to see them in a movie together, Tom Cruise and Jackie Chan?
Because
Wow.
these guys have all banged and beat up themselves. You know, Halloween's been a little bit back, but one of the guys on the radio, he said, you know, I've never seen nobody go as a Halloween character as Tom Cruise from Risky Business.
Well, that would be interesting. You know, we were talking the other day after Halloween was over and how when I was growing up, costuming was simple. Sometimes it was just a little goofy mask you got in the grocery store, but they tended to be about a scary character. You were a mummy or da-da-da. About the most comic guy, there was always somebody that was a cowboy or a cowgirl. But now you see people that are just somebody out of a movie, and it's like going to a big costume party. And I guess that's be what you want to be, but to me, you're supposed to be scary.
It's sort of a different, but I guess back to Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah, back to Mission Impossible.
You know, but this one right here is a thrill ride. Now it's a longer movie, so you got to have time to really sit down and watch it and enjoy it. But once it gets started, you don't feel that you've been there almost 3 hours. You know, the stunts in it are incredible. The storyline is tying back in with several of the older movies.
Yeah, ties in with Fallout.
So, you know, and you've had Tom's group of people that sort of went rogue in the past, and they're still sort of a little rogue, but they're working with people now. And this thing was filmed all over the world. And needless to say, that was a major feat on getting this movie filmed because of its timing and things. And, you know, unfortunately, they spent, close to $300 million?
Right, one of the highest production cost movies.
And I don't think that it coming out when it did was the best for it right there at the end of summer. You know, normally there's always that big movie around Labor Day, but I think this movie right here needed that early summer.
Well, early summer, or if they'd held this until Christmas this year, that brought it to theater, where people are they're going to the theater more, they don't have activities during the summer. Oh, I'll see it when it comes out, when it streams, it's on DVD, you know, I'll just wait on this
one. But needless to say,
because this should have been seen on a big screen.
Yeah, of course now, so many people's got big screens at their house.
That's right.
Don't don't just get in the run on, it's a Mission Impossible, I don't have to see it until later. Take your time, watch this movie, you know, for all the thrill rides and the storylines, and you know, if they're a John Wick fan or any of that, all this carries as much action as any of those.
Right, you know, and we always research and do some background and read critics' review, and they were saying on this one that, now this is Dead Reckoning Part 1. Well, there's supposed to be another one coming out. They filmed sort of back to back. We don't know what it's going to be. Part 1, there's going to be a Part 2. They left the ending wide open for a Part 2, and this critic, who is very well known, and I'm not going to name any names, didn't know what the next one was going to be about. That was stupid.
Anyway.
Anyway, well, that's our program for today, whether we have stupid reviewers or not. We try not to be one of those, even though we may sound a little idiotic. So we hope you've had a good time with us today, and hope to see you back next week on Reels to Rentals.